and his intention is not anything more than his ego and to spread his ambition across Europe. This is what this entire war is about. And so I don't see anything wrong with the United States taking a stance against the aggressor here, who is Vladimir Putin. It is a shame that this war is continuing. It's a shame that anyone is dying in this war, the thousands that are dying in Ukraine, the thousands of Russian soldiers who are dying, and they are all dying because of Vladimir Putin's ambition, nothing more. And so I think it is foolhardy. I think it is disingenuous at best. I think it is actually part of a strategy to undermine Ukraine, to constantly attack simple statements like this. And forgive me, I've been around these political games so long that I already know the response to this statement. I already know the response is going to be an attack from the right, from the conservatives, from those people who, quite frankly, no longer can claim patriotism. We're dealing with a sect of people in the United States of America who want it both ways. They want to fly the American flag, but also give allegiance to Vladimir Putin. We'll talk about all that a little bit more coming up in the rest of this episode. It's just these particular issues are so deeply rooted with everything that we're doing on a day-to-day basis that it really does in some ways add to the collective trauma as we look across the globe and we see one thing after the other. The pandemic wasn't enough. Then we saw immediately after the beginning of the pandemic, we saw the murder of George Floyd, and we saw the suppression of the protests. And now we're living through what feels like the beginnings of World War III. I do want to bring to the screen now Dr. Nyasha, who has been joining us and will continue to join us to discuss and help us process this collective grief and this collective trauma. Good morning to you. How are you this morning, sister?
I'm doing well, Benjamin. And you're so close. The pronunciation of my name, Nyasha.
You know,
you said
I have a track record here. And here's the thing. Now, this is what's bad. You and I have known each other for years. However, we've known each other for years through Twitter. Nyasha, forgive me for the mispronunciation. I have a reputation of ruining everyone's name. Talk to us about this in this month. I know you're going to come on a monthly basis and try to guide us collectively through this collective grief that we're suffering. And a lot of times I think it's difficult to even recognize that we as a collective people, humans, are dealing with a significant amount of grief right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know today we're going to talk about traumatic grief and the use of rituals, collective and individual rituals to help with that. So I think first I want to start with just framing what we're talking about when we talk about grief, when we talk about trauma, what we talk about when we're saying traumatic grief, and then also rituals. So when we speak of grief, we're talking about normal human responses to permanent attachment severance. Okay. And so the nature of the severance is permanent, and grief is a normal way that we tend to respond to that. The nature of your attachment is going to influence the ways in which grief manifests within the individual. And so all attachments are meaningful on some level, but it doesn't necessarily mean that all attachments are warm or bring a sense of comfort and loving feelings, but they're meaningful. And so the nature of your attachment to the object that has been severed is going to influence what rises up for you. And when we think about trauma, I want us to think about a terrorizing shock to the system, a terrorizing shock to the system that overwhelms the system's ability to access its typical coping resources. And there are three primary trauma responses that show up in the nervous system. The first is hyperarousal. The second is hypoarousal, and the third is a mix of both. And so when we have a hyperarousal response to a traumatic loss, our nervous system prepares us to fight or to take flight and flee the terror. And so the system is really highly activated. Well, all of these are activation, but think of a racing heart, a tightening of the muscles, and preparing for action, and also a conservation of some other functions within the body so that you're prepared, you're channeling all of your energy to fight or to flee. The second, hypoarousal, think of as an overwhelming of the system to the point that you go into almost a limp, dissociated, faint, or fawn response. And then the third would be a combination of the two, where your nervous system is actually highly activated while you're also in a limp response, and the two together can create what we call a freeze reaction, where you're frozen. And so if we put those two together, when we think about traumatic grief, we think about a permanent severance of an attachment that overwhelms our system's normal capacity to cope. Okay. With respect to grief rituals, do you want to say something there?
Yeah, I want to ask a question. You frame it as an attachment, and so I'm assuming this doesn't have to be a person. This doesn't have to be an attachment. Can be literally anything that has been removed from us. Could you just talk about the differences between it being a person that has been removed from our lives versus something else?
Yeah, sure. Right. And that's exactly right. The attachment doesn't have to be a person. My personal practice focuses on grief and bereavement related to human attachments. But the difference is that we are relational people. We're relational creatures. We need other humans to survive. And so as a species, we're hardwired to connect to other human beings. And so that is one way in which a severance of a humankind can create a more intense grief response than other types of attachment severances.
Thank you for that clarification, for that deeper understanding of it. Please continue.
Yeah. And so just last, I wanted to bring up the idea of grief rituals and the purpose of ritual as it relates to grief. When you think of grief ritual, I want you to think about a direct collective or individual intentional action that's designed to help you to process the grief. Okay. And when we think about our Black American Christian tradition, you think about our funeral services, or think of any culture and last rites services as one form of grief ritual. There can be many others, such as constructing altars. My family, we have an annual family reunion, and Saturday morning, we do a sunrise tribute to our ancestors. And that's one way that we not only continue to process the reality of this permanent physical separation, but we also, this is another function of ritual, we're also able to continue bonds in that way as a collective. And so grief ritual serves to help us to process the reality of the separation, the physical separation. It serves to allow us to continue bonds, and it also helps us to bring our nervous system back into equilibrium. Because again, especially if you're talking about a traumatic grief, the nervous system is out of balance.
So that ritual, that funeral, that process actually helps our nerves. What happens in these seasons, this time, particularly during COVID, those grief rituals have been either shortened or sometimes just they weren't able to have funerals in some cases. What happens in that case, and how should we process that?
Yeah, humans are remarkably resilient and innovative and creative in this way. So some folks have had services and last rites over mediums such as Zoom. And I was thinking about in the case of my own family, not the funeral, which we did have a funeral in person and streamed for a loved one who transitioned last year. But the technology also allowed us to hold vigil for that loved one as they were transitioning in the hospital during a time when, under normal circumstances pre-pandemic, we would not have all been able to be there with this individual while they were hospitalized. But the technology allowed us to be with our loved one and surround them as they took their last breaths and transitioned, and for us to make decisions about that transition as a family, rather than putting all of that decision-making burden on the next of kin, which is very typical in Western kind of approaches to end of life. And we had a wonderful palliative care doctor who spoke with us and reminded us that this doctor was a person of color, and reminded us that we as people of color, we step into this space collectively, not as individuals. And so it's appropriate that this be a collective decision. And so that became its own grief ritual in process that was prelude to the funeral service, which happened, like I said, both in person and online. I know a lot of families have decided to hold memorials at later dates, and people have found those as very meaningful. And so my sense is that the meaning is not lessened because we have to develop these creative new ways to enact ritual.
Help me, if you don't mind, contextualize what you're saying for the loss of hope, because quite honestly, in the line of work that I'm in, listening and talking to people, and we've heard it in the voice of callers, a lot of people have almost lost a permanent attachment to their sense of hope for something better. Is there any analog there?
I mean, I think this is, again, where ritual becomes really valuable, and possibly looking into reconnecting to ritual so that you are reconnecting to a sense of hope, to a sense of purpose, to a sense of, I say this all the time, an existence larger than your current circumstance in the present moment. I mean, part of how ritual works is that it taps into a transcendent experience, something beyond, the corporal and the here and now. And so, especially if you're struggling with hope, doing something collective, intentional, and you can be creative. You can sit by the waterside and journal. If you're imbuing that experience with intentionality and the idea of this as a precious act, for many people a sacred act, but even if not sacred, precious and meaningful, then you've tapped into the power of ritual and what it can do.
And so it's our intentionality. There's so many of us, myself personally, who I grew up in a environment where we really took everything to the Lord in prayer, right? We didn't really go get mental health counseling for a whole lot of things. And I think that's kind of true for a lot of people in the Black community. Hearing you say that really resonates with me, because there's been times where I have had to just intentionally sit aside time to do X in order to address this thing that I was feeling. But I never knew that it was the intention itself that brings equilibrium to us. So help us just really, I know you've said it, but I think that is fascinating. Yeah. Setting our intention to do something actually helps the healing process.
Yes, because when you're setting your attention, you're bringing in the meaning, and the meaning making is part of what's healing. That's the distinction between kind of a habitual act that you can do mindlessly or automatically and a sacred act or a ritual act, is that you're bringing intention to it, you're bringing meaning to it, and you're bringing a sense of what you're doing as precious.
Absolutely.
And especially for your line of work. Especially for your line of work. Yeah. I mean, you guys are frontline trauma workers. I was thinking about this last month. And so the things that we talk about on a monthly basis and kind of interventions and these ways of taking care of ourselves is so relevant to all of you who do the kind of work that you do. I mean, you're trauma storytellers. So think about you're ingesting the traumatic story, you yourself are then needing to sit with it and process it in some way. And that's where I would say invite ritual. And then you are giving it back to us, the public. You are retelling the story again. And I would recommend following that up with ritual of some sort as well.
I've learned to, after every episode, take a minute. There was a good period where I didn't realize it took at least 30 minutes to just decompress from this experience that we do every morning. As we journey with you, and thank you for coming with us once a month. Tell us how we move processually to make sure that this isn't just a one-off occurrence, but that we're moving together with you in this journey.
Clarify that for me.
So as we intend on doing this once a month here on the Benjamin Dixon Morning Show. And I know your intention is to make sure that this isn't like a one-off conversation about healing, but kind of a pedagogy, kind of a process of us moving together. Talk to us about that.
Right. So we have mapped out 12 mini discussions like this that we're going to have over the course of the next year. I can't remember what we said we were going to talk about next month, but I guess what I would invite the audience to do and to join me in doing is starting to develop a ritual practice between now and when we get together again next month. You have to have your own practice, and it needs to be your own. So it can't just be something that you kind of have absorbed through cultural, socialization and culturation. It needs to be meaningful to you. That may be the same thing, but it may not. And so I invite everyone to begin to develop that practice, if not daily, something that you're doing with intentionality, that you're inviting meaning, and that you are considering precious, if not daily, once a week until we meet again, and see how it goes.
I absolutely love that call to action, and I'm encouraging everyone to do that and participate in it. Dr. Nyasha, thank you so much for your time this morning. I know you have to get out of here. We're going to share some of this information on our Patreon pages and different places. We want to make sure everyone gets a chance to experience this, not only live, but after the fact. Thank you so much for your time.
Wonderful.
There's also a slide that we wanted to share.
Say that again, David.
There was also a slide that we got. We don't have it.
Okay. All right. So when we get that slide, we're going to definitely share that. There's a lot more information we're going to share and make sure our supporters get that. Thank you again this morning.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you, David. Bye, guys.
And again, we want to remind everyone this morning, we are going to open up the phone lines. The phone numbers will be posted in all the different chat rooms. We want to make sure that you get a chance to chime in, not only about the political stories that we cover, but also how those stories are affecting you. Because as Dr. Nyasha said, that these issues, we do internalize them. You listening and watching every single day, it takes a lot to be informed and to stay informed, not only in terms of information, but literally just dealing with this stuff. I've spoken with so many supporters who said that they had to basically just log off. They had to just cut off the show for a while because it's so intense trying to keep up with all the different stories, all the different issues. And then one layer worse, I just have to be honest with you, the layer that's compounds insult to injury in this work and what you do as you listen to this is the hypocrisy. It's one thing to deal with the trauma. It's one thing to deal with all of these stories, but it's another to deal with the hypocrisy as it's glaring in our faces every single day. And so I think those things compound on top of everything else. So we want the phone lines to be open, or rather the phone lines are open to you. Make sure that you join in the conversation. I want to talk about one more story in context of grief as we get ready to transition to the next block on the clock. Georgia Fort's not with us this morning, but we have a lot of miles to cover, a lot of stories to cover. DJ Exclusive will be joining us, and Rebecca Azor. We do want to keep our eye on all of the stories that are going around the country. There are so many news stories that involve death of loved ones, of friends and family members that are simply not being investigated. And I think a part of our trauma in this country, especially as Black people, is not only to have our loved ones taken away from us, but to not have any justice attached to it. We will be speaking later on in the show with Pascal of the Pascal Show about this new push to bring some accountability to the accuser that led to the lynching of Emmett Till. So many times in so many ways, we've seen traumatic events happen, lives taken, and there be no justice. Well, that's happening right now today. I mentioned Emmett Till, but right now today, there are people, Black people specifically, who have been gunned down in the streets of Jacksonville, Florida, in the streets of Jackson, Mississippi, of Marietta, Georgia, who simply have had their cases closed without anyone being brought to justice. And that is compounding to the catalog of traumas that people suffer in this country, particularly Black people. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back from this break, we're going to go on the clock. Georgia Fort's not with us, but our phone lines are open. We want to hear from you. Join the conversation. Let us know what you're thinking about all these stories. What are you thinking about Elon Musk making his move to purchase Twitter? We called it. We called it several weeks ago. I knew as soon as he got involved that was going to be what he was going to try to do. I want to know what you think. Make sure you join the conversation. We'll be back with more of the Benjamin Dixon Morning Show right after this break.
Feel like you the one and I'm on one. So what it's gonna be? Baby, squad up. We finna go deep. Riding on a team. Got what you need. Baby, won't you keep me company? Give me something to do when I get lonely. I got something for you when we get home. If you let me put it down. When I hit the town, you should slide on me. Keep your minds on me. On try, baby, I think you should side with me. Stay solid one time if you lie with me. Just promise you never lie to me. Keep the moves on tuck. I know it's all love. Everything good. Keep the vibes on crush. I know it's all good. Know it's all love. Know it's all love. I've been feeling like I'm feeling like the man. Can't nobody do it like I can. Daily, baddest in the lattice in the land. Body turn your nigga to a fanny up. I made it where I'm at on my own. Had a couple blocks in the road, but I get to the bag on the loan. I be counting stacks while they grow. Yeah, you know me, baby. Won't you keep me company?
Good morning, good morning, good morning, people. Y'all know the voice, you know the sound. It's your boy James Bubba Williams, DJ Exclusive is in the building. Good morning, everybody.
Keep your minds on me. On try, baby, I think you should side with me. Stay solid one time if you lie with me. Just promise you never lie to me.
Good morning, everybody. Shout out mom and daddy. Good morning. I love y'all. Roller Dragon, what's going on? Shade Dragon, Boondocks, Tiger, what's up, her? It's Getting On, Shade Dragon. Good morning, everybody. Make sure that y'all hit the phone lines. The phone lines are open if you do want to call in. 301-715-8592. And make sure that you use the user ID right there in the chat as well, too, man. We look forward to hearing from y'all. Good morning, everybody.
I gotta hit the beat. I gotta hit the beat. I gotta hit the beat.
Kareem Ransom, good morning. Tyra, good morning to you. Spin Cycle, what's up, her? Brother Lateef, good morning. Good morning, Malia, as well, too. Malia is one of my fans, y'all. I love Malia. Good morning, Malia.
I gotta
Shelby H, good morning.
I gotta
Carly Wynn, good morning to you. Moon Meat, what's going on? Good morning.
Champagne on the shoulder. This is my exposure. It's the end of October. Champagne on the shoulder. This is my exposure.
Carmen, good morning. Laser Sword, what's going on? Mary C, good morning.
Beef with all the girls. Bullshit dripping off the chin. All night long. But the feeling keeps kicking.
Shout out Roller Dragon, who was on hold for like 5,000 hours last week, man. Shout out Roller Dragon. Elizabeth Lonzo, good morning. Stephanie Rampley, Tyler Hackner, what's going on? Iris Jones, Snack Panther, what's up, her? KFC, I know you somewhere out there. Good morning, Kev. Craig and Lenny, good morning. Tyler Smallwood, good morning to you, man. I do not know. Lots of coffee, not a lot of sleep. but a lot of coffee. I think that's how we do it. Have this much energy in the morning. Because my God, today I am not a morning person, but thanks to Benjamin Dixon, I am now. Six Dragon Daddy, good morning to you. William Moore, good morning.
Cold nights feel heavy. Same place going in the heart of the city. Nitty gritty feels iffy and the eyes feel shifty. The shit we're in, yo, it's all mad risky.
One Source Productions, good morning. Ryan Performer, good morning to you.
Bullshit dripping off the chin. All night long, but the feeling keeps kicking in. Beef with all the girls. Bullshit dripping off the chin.
Rachel Bannon, good morning. Hey, Dwayne, you there, Dwayne? Dwayne, what word starts with E and ends with E, but only has one letter in it? Envelope. Brandy Edie, good morning to you.
I gotta hit the beat.
You ready? Perfect.
I gotta hit the
Hey, all right. I love when a plan come together. All right, y'all. Y'all know what time it is. Though she is not here with us today, we are still on the clock. Good morning, everybody.
Welcome back to the Benjamin Dixon Morning Show. We are on the clock. Georgia Fort is out today. DJ exclusive, doing the damn thing. How you doing this morning, brother?
I'm pretty good, brother. Admiring how my camera looks this morning. It looks pretty superb. I must say so.
You're looking pretty clean over there, man. The greens are greening. It's giving what it's supposed to give.
Greening. Right? All this green in the background, and I got on green. It's call me the Jolly Green Giant today. Good morning, y'all.
Good morning to you. Good morning. Listen, our phone lines are open. I want to make sure that we get everyone a chance to join this next conversation. James, I'm glad you got your coffee already.
Yes, sir.
Phone lines 301-715-8592. The user ID is in the various chat rooms. You can check Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, wherever you are. 301-715-8592. We've been calling it. I called it. Elon Musk is going to purchase Twitter, or at least that is the move. NBC is reporting that Twitter has officially accepted billionaire Elon Musk's $44 billion offer to buy the social media company and take it private. The announcement was made yesterday, April 25th. In response, the stock was halted until the news broke, but was up over 6% once trading resumed. Elon Musk said in a press statement released via NBC, quote, "Free speech is the bedrock of a functioning democracy, and Twitter is the digital town square where matters vital to the future of humanity are debated." Musk went on to say, "I also want to make Twitter better than ever by enhancing the product with new features, making the algorithm open source to increase trust, defeating the spam bots," good luck with that, "and authenticating all humans." He also sent a letter to the board of Twitter saying that they wanted to reinstate Donald Trump. So that's coming around the bend real soon. All of this is on the heels of Elon Musk getting ready to collect $23 billion in a bonus from Tesla. According to The Guardian, Elon Musk is set to collect $23 billion bonus after Tesla reported a record quarterly profits. Musk is already the world's richest person and is worth an estimated $249 billion. So that $44 billion for Twitter is basically pocket change for him.
Basically.
What do you think?
So, Ben, we already know that your Twitter's about to get suspended, Ben. So when are you leaving Twitter?
I've already deleted it off my phone. I'm not going to delete mine, but I certainly delete. Listen, that's the real thing, though. You got to understand, Elon Musk now privately owns all of that data, all of it. Every single click into Twitter, as well as out of Twitter, Elon Musk. So for everyone who went to XYZ website after you left Twitter, I want you to understand Elon Musk now owns that data as well. Some of us are circumspect enough not to do anything on Twitter. And then there's a whole lot of you who've got some DMs that you slid into.
Damn,
Elon Musk now owns all of that.
Elon Musk might as well be the new OnlyFans because
Twitter's off the chain, man.
All the Twitter stuff that he has at this point, my God, today, I don't know what he's going to do with all of that. Jesus.
See, I'm going to go ahead and say this now. David, as well as my nephew, have had full access to all of my DMs for years now. So there's nothing to find in my DMs. But for some folks, man, Twitter is Elon Musk now owns all of your deepest, darkest secrets.
Hey, Elon know a whole lot that he don't need to know now. But hey, welcome, Elon. You family now, brother.
Go ahead, David. Dwayne. Go ahead. Okay, we have a caller. First caller is on the line. What is your name, comment, and/or question? And where are you from, caller? Oh, caller, this is you. You're live on the air. Yes. What is your name, comment, and where are you from?
This is Tyler. From
Tyler, how's it going, my friend?
I'm doing good. My thoughts on the state of the world, not so much. I felt as much anxiety about the state of the world as I did trying to call in this morning. Actually,
no, hey man, you're in good company here. Your family here. What's on your mind, man? What are your thoughts about the state of the world?
Well, I guess first, when it comes to Elon Musk, I don't know. I don't think this is necessary. I don't think this is necessarily a good thing. But also, I don't know what's going to happen. Honestly, I think this is just another weird rich billionaire just acquiring stuff and just trying to gain more and more power within the system, and it's just not really helping everyday people. Even though his fanboys are going to think this will help.
Right.
I don't know. I'm just, but now, Bubba got me thinking about Elon and OnlyFans. I don't know how we got there.
That's his next move.
Thanks a lot for that, James.
A rich billionaire, playboy philanthropist, excuse me, like Batman. So now he's going to try to own everything, except he's just not doing Batman stuff. Like now, if he comes out as Batman with the Batmobile, Elon, you my dude. Then just give me a holler and let me be Robin, and then I'm cool to go. I just need the gadgets.
I just want him to do good things.
Right.
Like, why do you have so much money and don't do it? To end world hunger, it would have cost $6 billion. And Elon Musk got in an argument with someone from the United Nations. Tyler, thanks so much for the call, man.
Yes.
Got in an argument with someone from the United Nations saying, listen, if you provide me with the data and the information, I'll spend, this is Elon Musk saying, I will spend $6 billion to end world hunger. They called his bluff. He did not end world hunger. Instead, he went and bought Twitter. Now, here's the thing, James. He's talking about it's about free speech. Truth of the matter is Elon Musk really just has a real big problem with how much criticism he and others get on Twitter. Twitter is an open space. I give you that. Not anymore, but it was an open space where criticisms of the rich could go all the way to the top. I mean, anyway, we'll talk about that more. We have one more caller. Caller, you're live on the air. What is your name, comment, and/or question?
Yes. Hello, Benjamin. Solidarity, my fellow leftist. My name is Armando Vegas, Chef Boy Armando on Twitter out of Richmond. How are you?
Doing well, man. Thanks so much for the call.
Yeah, man. I'm a black activist out of Richmond. Really, when it comes, I work IT and I've been a leftist my whole life. Really, when it comes to Elon Musk buying Twitter, I think it's something that's much more contextualized, right? I mean, in tech, we had a choice to decentralize everything. We had a choice to decentralize the internet. We had a choice to be able to democratize information, decentralize it. And unfortunately, we've chosen to go the way of Disney and Hulu and Netflix. And so once we've allowed all of that copyright, once we've allowed all of that property law onto a digital space where things can be replicated, no wonder we've got things like blockchain and NFTs and whatnot, which that guy is at the head of pushing. mean, he's the guy who really set Bitcoin on the map and accepting it for his cars. But I mean, I do a lot of labor reporting, and just a few days ago on Sunday, I actually exclusively covered a backstage Q&A session between Bernie Sanders and Starbucks Workers United workers back in the green room. He after his Amazon labor stop, he made a stop in Richmond, Virginia. Robert Costa was there, More Perfect Union, but I didn't see anything that they had covered. But I'm really concerned that, especially with this spate of union organizing going around the country and Elon Musk's quote-unquote dedication to free speech, that guy, he's got a laundry list of racist complaints against him in his Nevada factory, in his California factory. And his parents made their money off of mineral mines out of South Africa, off of apartheid. That's right. So this guy, he has no sort of context of racial justice, and he's one of those people who is so empowered when it comes to quote-unquote, when it comes to the right and this quote-unquote hating on this social justice movement. It's really unfortunate that this guy is going to get his hands on really the world's best platform for news aggregation and for socialization. I think it's a crime. I think it's what it is. I think we should have been offered what Bernie Sanders calls, what Richard Wolff calls, with the right of first refusal, which are workers and users getting together and deciding, you know what, we're actually going to take over the platform and we're going to make sure that it stays small d democratic. I really hope that was the case. But I thought I might point everybody to the journalism and the work that was happening over the weekend. I really want to make sure that Richmond, Virginia gets this shout out. These are overwhelmingly black and brown. These are women. These are queer people. These are disabled people organizing against Starbucks. They have union busting tactics being implemented against them. I have all of that reporting over at Chef Boy Armando over on Twitter. I really do encourage you guys to go over and check it out. It's up at the top of the page. Please give me a look over, listen. I absolutely love you, Benjamin. Love the show. Hey, love you guys.
Thanks,
Rebecca
man.
Azor,
hey,
my
appreciate
favorite
you.
commentators. Y'all keep it so real. Lauren, it's so real. I love you guys.
Hey, love you more, brother. Thank you so much for that call.
Thanks so much, Armando.
And for the work that you're doing over there. And shout out to those organizers, the Starbucks organizers and the Amazon organizers. And to be honest with you, James, Twitter, this is really not good, man. I want the audience to give more of their opinion than mine, because everybody, honestly, if you follow me any amount of time, you know what I honestly think about this. And you know what I honestly think about Elon Musk, which is why I'm laying low this morning. I want everybody else to say what you have to say. But it really is a big loss, man. It's like, you've taken the entire the main communication tool for organizing and on the internet for the last 12, 15 years, and now you've made it the plaything of a billionaire who doesn't like to get insulted online. You think he's not going to tweak that algorithm to suppress tweets like mine? They got like 100,000 likes on his head. He's going to tweak that algorithm the way he wants to, because he now personally owns it. What can you do?
Yeah. And it's one of those things where I think it's really going to affect those people that have those blue checks. Benjamin Dixon, it's one of those people with the blue checks.
I don't have a blue check on Twitter. I don't have a blue check on Twitter, though. But,
okay, cool. So you're still going to be problematic, though, Ben. My God, today. But what's going to happen is I really think it's going to affect those when you start getting those people with those high number of retweets and tweets, and especially if they're talking about something like, let's say, Black Lives Matter movement or protest or anything in that fashion. I really think he's going to shut all of that down. And that's where, to me, it becomes very problematic, because you get a lot of information from Twitter. You can find out a lot of stuff that's going on. And I think that with him doing that, and I just part of me hopes that he doesn't do that, but a part of me thinks that he's gonna Lex Luthor the hell out of Twitter. And I'm sorry to put it in comic book terms to everybody, y'all, but this the best way to do it. I mean, he's
Lex Luthor with hair plugs,
dead ass with hair plugs,
none of the talent, just the money.
I saw,
go ahead, Dwayne.
I saw a meme yesterday or the day before, one of them days. It was like all these people complaining, talking about they leaving Twitter because a billionaire owned it, and they doing it on Facebook. How ironic.
Still, I'm going to complain on every platform. I don't care who owns it. Let's move on to the next story. Listen, let me tell you something. Anyway, you can't beat them, join them. Okay, I want to take the next caller after this next story, and the caller feel free to comment on either one. James, you said there's stories, there's stuff that you find out on Twitter that you just won't find out anywhere else. And had it not been for Twitter, I would not have found out about the climate activist who died after setting himself on fire. Wynn Allen Bruce, he self-immolated in front of the Supreme Court on Earth Day, and he did so to protest on behalf of the environment and bring attention to the dire conditions that we're in. I have an explainer video. Let's take a second to listen to this information on climate activist Wynn Allen Bruce.
Colorado man who set himself on fire outside the Supreme Court building Friday has died. Police say 50-year-old Wynn Bruce succumbed to his injuries. Bruce set himself on fire on the plaza of the Supreme Court building around 6:30 Friday night. He was airlifted to a hospital. Fortunately, no one else was hurt.
So, he did this to bring attention to climate change and to the fact that, quite frankly, our country and our planet we're being ridiculous and we're on a collision course with disaster. He sacrificed his life. And I did not hear about it from any mainstream news outlet. I heard about it on Twitter first. So just echoing what you were saying, James.
Yeah, it's one thing to give your life for something. I mean, that's it's just a lot. Man. Yeah. That's very tough. I think there are other ways and means and methods that we can do, because now you did this and you brought attention to it, but what happens after? We would rather you have been here to fight the fight alive than versus fight the fight not here with us.
And here's the thing. Here's the tragic thing about it is I believe it was the Arab Spring that was started because of a vendor. My years are off, maybe 2011, a vendor set himself on fire to protest the harsh treatment. And as a result of that sacrifice, you had the entirety of the Arab Spring. Some of it did not end well. So I'm not going to paint that all as with rosy picture. But the thing is that his sacrifice was so significant that it was a flashpoint for an entire revolution for several countries. Mm-hmm. The United States of America is so far gone, man, that a man could set himself on fire in front of the Supreme Court and barely hit the headlines. Mm-hmm. That's where we are in this country, man. And I think it really kind of goes to what you're saying, that, and it's not to, he made a sacrifice, and this is not to question his decision to do that. It really is to question, where are we in this country where we are so desensitized to this type of sacrifice that it barely makes the news, and you got to go on Twitter, to find out about it.
That's what that is, Ben. Excuse me, that news suppression. They suppress those stories that they don't want the American people to see. Because like you said, Ben, I didn't hear anything about this at all. So they suppress these types of stories so we won't hear anything, or they suppress cop killings. It's the same thing. They suppress a lot of articles or a lot of news that come out of these cities and states that they just don't want us to know about.
It's the algorithm. I mean, it really is. It's not even it's beyond subconscious, right? There's no action that has to take place anymore because the algorithms have already been set. Caller, I want to make sure we get you in here before we go to this next break. You're live on the air. What is your name, comment, and or question?
Hi there, Shade.
Good morning.
Shade, good morning.
Where are you calling
Shade?
from? Yes, we can hear you good. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Fullerton.
Awesome. What is on your mind?
I was posting some stuff on chat, as I'm wont to do. Basically, I'm very concerned about...
Uh-oh. Did we lose her? I think we lost her.
She may have pressed mute button by mistake, maybe.
Okay, we'll give her a second. We'll give her some time to come back. And here's the last thing, James, before we go to a break, and we'll get that caller in. In the midst of all the stuff that's going on, man, so you got Elon Musk who's buying Twitter. You have climate change that's being completely ignored. You have voter suppression that isn't being blocked. You got January 6th that is happening or still happening, right?
Yep.
Donald Trump most likely is going to come back to Twitter as soon as Elon Musk finalizes the sale. It's kind of one of those situations where it's almost like all the odds are stacked against us, you know. And I'm not saying this to make anybody feel bad. Actually, I think the odds are still in our favor. I think despite Elon Musk dropping $44 billion to buy Twitter to suppress his dissent, I don't care what anybody says. In my opinion, he's doing that to block dissent and to help the right wing in this country. You got the pandemic going on. People ignoring the pandemic. 500 people dying on a regular basis. Right? We got all of these calamities going on, but I honestly believe they don't stand a chance against us. They have to spend this kind of money. They have to do these kind of things. The January 6th is the approach that they have to take. They have to overthrow democracy itself. Otherwise, normal people want to just do normal things, right? The average American is not trying to overthrow the government. The average American is just trying to live. But yet we're living in times where we have half the government country trying to overthrow the government, the other half ignoring the pandemic, and then the billionaires buying up all of our technology. It's just kind of a crazy time to be alive, James.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, the rest of us just sitting back like, damn, what the hell is really going on? Like, you know what? I'm just going to stay in the house.
I'm staying in the house because Earth is ghetto. That song is coming back. I don't know if we... All right, Shay Jack, we have you back. Call. Give us your comment again before we lose you.
Sure. I was just saying that Elon Musk buying Twitter is basically a distraction from the fact that we're moving toward a fascist theocracy. We have a candidate for Secretary of State for California. They don't want to run her necessarily for the Republican Party, but she is going to get through because she's the evangelical favorite. She's a Seven Mountains Dominionist, and she's another one of these people who is actually advocating for stochastic terrorism against witches and Satanists. And you can think what you want about my religion, and I can think what I want about anybody else's.
That's right.
But at the same time, I would defend anybody else's right to believe what they want.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't want to interrupt you. I want to make sure you get your thoughts out before we say anything.
She says that she ran because her son saw Jesus in her closet, for starters. She also started making this... No, I'm not kidding. She also started making this allegation that witches... sexually abused her when she was a small child in daycare. Wow. And that's
this is a candidate for Secretary of State in California. Wow.
Yes. And the thing is, here's what Secretary of State does, besides apparently pushing theocratic rhetoric. She would be the person who would be in charge of anything to do with voting, among other things. And another thing is she would be the person who is overseeing at the highest level the Safe at Home project, which, if you don't know, is a project for domestic violence survivors, victims of or witnesses of violent crime. And people who've had abortions and are being tracked down by relatives or whatever in the state of California. Basically, it's to protect your address and identity so you won't be harassed. So, yeah, you really think an evangelical is going to be sympathetic to somebody who's running from an abusive husband?
That's a Jack, and thank you so much for that. James, they actually just hit it dead smack on the head in their first couple of sentences. They're moving towards a theocratic fascist state. And I know those are a lot of words, but I can help people to understand it really clearly. If you've seen the show Preacher and you've seen those fascists running around in the name of Jesus, killing and destroying and maiming people. That's kind of what you should think of when you think of these people who are trying to gain power. When you think of Amy Coney Barrett, the Supreme Court justice that Donald Trump put up there. When you think about all of these evangelicals, and it's not 100% evangelicals, but I can tell you this much: it's enough of them for me to have to ask all of the good evangelicals, how long are you going to go along with this? Are they going to keep going along with this fascism to the point where they're actually killing people? Because as Shay Dragon was saying, the kind of rhetoric that they're saying, it's going to get somebody killed. And quite honestly, I think that's part of their agenda.
Yeah, agreed, man. Yeah. You said it all right there, brother.
Right there. Listen, I mean, really, I want people, if you're, when I say, every time we say theocratic fascism, we're going to go to a break. Every time we say theocratic fascism, okay, we'll let's see, we'll grab that caller. Let's do this caller before we go to break. Caller, you're live on the air. What is your name, comment, and or question?
Hello, Benjamin. This is Justin from the PA's 122nd. How are you doing today?
Doing well. Thanks for the call, Justin. What's on your mind?
I had I had an interesting thought because Elon decided to get all that money, and I said, who says he didn't borrow some from Bezos and try to take over Twitter to block all union aspects in that sort of way? And maybe we should try something regarding trying to block that sort of aspect like was done in the 20s, in the 1920s, well, 30s, whatever, yeah. That's one of my points regarding that aspect. I mean, I see a lot of people up here. I'm in a red part of the district, so it's kind of interesting to see them.
No, I think that was you know what? We don't have all the details about the financing of this. So, one, we don't know if this is all purely Elon Musk funds. Two, we do know for a fact that Twitter has been one of the most successful organizing tools in the history of organizing. And if you want to strike at the heart of organizing, you take down Twitter. And I have to agree with the caller. That's got to be one of the goals behind the scenes, because you know who else doesn't like unions? Elon Musk does not like unions. So, James, let's go to a quick break. When we come back, we're going to be joined by Rebecca Zord, like it or not. It's getting ready to go down. More of the Benjamin Dixon Morning Show right after this break.
All right, make sure that y'all stay tuned. We got more coming up next on the Benjamin Dixon Morning Show. Like it or not, it's about to go down. Start momentarily, y'all. Good morning, everybody.
Baby, take your time. Let me know I want. When you tell me I want. When the neighbors yell turn down, we keep it going. Like pom pom pom. Do it back then rotation. Cigarettes and the season. Shine bright as that season. Girl, you know you are. Jam, 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 jam. Jam, 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 jam. Jam, 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 jam. Shining like your ice on every time. Jam, 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 jam.
All right, y'all, real quick, we're going to get our new Twitch subscribers read off real quick here. Real quick, fast in a hurry. Rib Switch, resubscribe. I'm sorry, subscribe. Welcome, Rib Switch. Industrial Arts, what's going on, brother? And shout out to you in the chat room this morning. Industrial Arts, resubscribed, and they've been subscribed for 13 months now. Oh, we got a year-old baby. All right. Arium, there we go. Resubscribe. They've been subscribed for 4 months. Superfly Trans got resubscribed, and they've been subscribed for 6 months. Jam 2 resubscribed and commented. Woohoo! Love you all. And they have been subscribed for 13 months as well. Oh, another full year, baby. You grown now. Siscat resubscribed and commented. I'm back. Love you all. Mean it. And they have been subscribed for 19 months. Shout out Siscat. It's like 19 months. It's like one of those things like you're already a year old. And instead of saying, oh, my baby's like a year and some months, almost 2. Well, my baby's 19 months. What the hell is that? Just say how old the baby is. JN Lee 1981 gifted subscriptions to Zivis X and Yachting Gates. And when there are 15 resubscribed and commented, good morning. And they've been subscribed for 9 months. Uh-oh, you about ready to pop. Good morning again, everybody. If you have not already, patreon.com/likeitoronot, patreon.com/the BPD show, and also join through Twitch. Using those good old Amazon Prime benefits, man. Y'all go ahead and use them benefits so to get on over here. Elon ain't gonna like that. Not Elon, but Jeff. Whatever their name is, they all the same people if you honestly think about it. Y'all make sure y'all stay tuned. And if you have not joined ACT TV yet, go to act.tv/join to become a member today. Love y'all, mean it, man. Y'all stay tuned, like it or not. It's going down, starting up next. Good morning.
It went a little bit farther. I didn't blow my top off. Now 6 by Arsenal. I didn't drive my car home when I drank that charcoal. Man, I miss my mom's song. Ask me how it feels. I say it feels too real. When you pick a speed, what's pitch black weed.
I want to do this joke, but it's like pushing the envelope.
I'll be in there deep.
But it's very funny. I guess this is called Like It or Not, where we feed each other. Okay. Dwayne, you say yes. Should I do it, Dwayne? You say yes? Okay, see, if Dwayne said yes, then I'm going to do it. My cousin was hospitalized after shoving 28 small plastic horses in his rectum. Yes, you heard correctly. 28 small plastic horses in his rectum. Doctors described this condition as stable.
Cause I'm a brand new model with a brand new model. Yeah, I called up Carlos. Said I won't be calling. He said I'm not old.
Alicia, good morning to you.
Ask me how it feels. I said it feels too real.
Y'all know I ain't got no sense, man.
What's pitch black weed? When you got your thoughts, all the in that deep. What about your heart? Does it beat too hard, my God?
Look, my feed, okay, no, the feed is not, this feed is good, it's just a delay. Cause I'm just like, damn, y'all just now laughing at that joke? I said it like an hour ago. All right, y'all, anyway, I went for an interview at Ikea. The manager greeted me by saying, come in, make a seat. I called up my landlord and said, hey, I got a leak in my sink. He said, go ahead, I'm not judging. My boss asked me why I only get sick on my work days. My boss asked me why I only get sick on my work days. I said it must be my weekend immune system. Weekend immune system. Stupid as hell. Laura Estrada, good morning. Tracy Jones, good morning. Sydney Butler.
Hey, we come back whenever
y'all missed the horse joke? Okay, cool. My cousin was hospitalized after shoving 28 small plastic horses in his rectum. Doctors described his condition as stable. Extra horsepower to win. Okay. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and do the damn song. Let's get it out the way early today. Jason Goodcroft, good morning to you. Y'all know what time it is, Laura. You are just on time. Alexis, good morning as well to you. It's time.
Morning, y'all.
Y'all know what time it is.
Coffee and tea, drink whatever it is you need.
It's time for Like It or Not.
It's time for Like It or Not, y'all. 9 a.m. to 10:30, yeah. Like It or Not is on your channel, yeah. Politics and culture each week. Like
Weekend immune system.
Interviews and all the news. We get to choose what gets the views. Like It or Not with Queen Azor. It's starting now, so stick around. Like it or not, it's going down. Like it or not, y'all stick around.
Promises manifested. Good morning to you.
It's coming through. You know she got us. good story for you.
Hey, we all know where the Big Apple is, but does anyone know where Minneapolis?
This is his show. He's a politics pro. DJ.
Monique H, good morning to you.
DJ exclusive.
Kevin Griffin, what's going on, sir? Good morning.
I stay dropping them jams.
Fatal Flaw Dragon, good morning. Sonny Wright, what's going on?
It's going down. Like it or not, y'all stick around. Oh, like it or
Melanie Dennis, good morning.
It's starting now.
All right, y'all. Y'all know what time it is, y'all. Like it or not, it's about to go down. Good morning, everybody.
To go down.
Like It or Not with Benjamin Dixon starts now.
Young and my. Good morning, y'all.
Good morning and welcome to Like It or Not, where we're free to tell the truth.
And not care who doesn't like it. This cat said I was so young and happy in that video. My dude, that was just like last year. What the hell?
It's been a hell of a year.
I guess you were younger though. I guess
there was
I guess you're not
you can see the gray hairs. You can see the, if not for the makeup, you see all the. Anyway, wait a minute.
Ben, you wear makeup?
I don't wake up like this. Come on, man.
Wait a minute. Where's my stylist at? See, Dwayne, we talked about this. David, I keep telling y'all, this is why I'll never be on time. This is why I'll never come to production meetings. Because I ain't say nothing about stylist. Nobody put no makeup on me when I come in. I just got to wake up and just come in here just like, damn, spots all on my face and shit.
Why do you think I only come on screen occasionally, James?
Y'all thought I wake up like this? I wake up looking like listen, let me tell you something. If you saw my feet, you know how working class I really was. Anyway, wait a minute.
Slay. Damn. Fred Flintstone feet Ben be out there running. It's yabba dabba doo.
Hey man, some of us wear socks during sex and others don't. I just say it like sometimes.
What? Don't you bring no goddamn socks in my bed. Okay, never mind. Put your socks on. Just put your shoes on. You know what? Just leave. Man. I've had quite a few girls who've been like, in past lives, been like, did you really wear socks? Yes. I did us both a favor and I wore socks. Leave me alone. How did we get here? And nobody's supposed to be here. I want to start with Madison Cawthorn. This is the only place to go after an opening like that.
I was just about to say.
Listen, this is a no judgment zone around here. I don't care what you like, as long as you're consenting adults, do you, and do it great. Be great in your lavender. Madison Cawthorn is a hypocrite. I have no problem with these pictures that we're getting ready to put up on the screen. He's a representative, a Republican. He is a Trumper. He is a January 6er. He is all those things. I have a lot of problems with him, but I don't have a problem with the picture we're getting ready to put on the screen. Apparently a lot of people do. Here's Representative Madison Cawthorn dressed in lingerie, cross-dressing. Let's take a look. And it was all over the news. Breaking, Madison Cawthorn, pictures of him cross-dressing or just dressing in lingerie, not even cross-dressing. I don't know what you call it. He's just out partying. He looks a lot happier there, James, than he does doing all the evil shit that he's doing in Washington, D.C. I would much rather he would be out partying like this every single night than to be in Washington, D.C. trying to hurt transgender children. I would rather him be out partying and snorting. I don't care how much cocaine he wants to snort it all. just stay out of the lives of people because he wants to be free to live and do what he wants to do. Simultaneously, he wants to be able to tell other people what they can't do. That's the only problem I have with this picture. What are your thoughts, man?
It's not giving what they said it's supposed to give. It's giving very much. Don't ever do that again. We don't care if you was playing a game. We don't care what you was doing. It's just giving, just like we know. Twink, we know.
Let me read.
Ben don't know what that means. I'm thank God.
I don't. Like, I'm gonna laugh because that's what I get paid to do. Is sit here laugh all day. Madison Cawthorn, this is his.
That bra don't fit. It don't. The whole thing, it just don't fit. It just looks very like. It looks very white girl. Like, what was the movie? White Chicks. It give me real white chicks.
Oh man, I thought you were gonna say Mean Girls.
White Chicks.
I'm gonna say, don't bring up my favorite movie on the show. Anyway, he said, "Don't do this again. Don't dress like this anymore."
Ever.
You're just gonna do it right. If you're gonna do it right,
you know, just it's like, you can tell it looked like he was doing it for a game or something because it lands on like 2 pieces of lingerie. It's just like, yeah, no, look at it. It's just like, no. The corset is wrong. The bra is wrong. Just everything is all wrong. It's wrong, sweetie.
Can't even do that right, man. Come on, what's wrong with these mediocre?
Somebody said Rocky Horror Picture Show. That's exactly what it's given.
That's what it's given.
But terrible, terrible.
Moving on. Young Americans are increasingly disapproving of President Joe Biden. CNN is reporting a recent poll shows President Biden's favorability amongst young Americans is trending downwards. The poll conducted by Harvard Institute of Politics found that nearly 41% of young Americans aged 18 to 29 approve of Biden's performance thus far. He could always cancel student debt and get that number up pretty significantly. What do you think, James?
Well, now with the, excuse me, I think it was Roller Dragon that talked about it last week with the stipulations if he does cancel those student loan debts. Now I think even after doing that, he's still going to trend downward. Yeah, man, because if you think about it, it makes sense. Like student loans were sold to somebody else for more income and more money. So now if you really think about canceling student loan debt, a lot of people won't even have anything to cancel because your loans were sold to a private lender like mine were. So canceling student loan debt won't even help my ass out now. That's all right, because y'all ain't going to get a damn dime of my money. The hell you think this is? Sorry. I was about to, oh boy. That thing pissed me off. Y'all don't understand.
You know what I love about this show, James, is that we have all the flashiness and all of the glitz and the lighting. You know, every now and then our cameras go out. But besides that, you know, we look nice. And most of the time, like, we just don't even care. We'll just say, Sally Mae, keep calling as much as you want to. We're not going to pick up the phone because, you know, this is real life around here, man. Real life around here is working 2 or 3 jobs and paying on your student loans and then realizing all that money went to nothing, right? And all that money went just interest and you're still stuck with $100,000 principal. Like there's a lot of people, there's a lot of things Joe Biden could actually do. He could do something on the environment. He can do something about voting rights. He can do something about student debt. Make a pass at him. Do something about the rent being too damn high. Do something about inflation. There's a lot of things that he can do.
Oh my gosh.
Because that gas pump is whipping my butt. Like I wish this was the beginning of the pandemic because I wouldn't be driving anywhere. But now $70 to fill up a car, right? There's a lot of things that can be done, but I just don't get the feeling they're interested in doing a whole lot.
Ben, what are you driving? A diesel truck?
How much is gas where you at, man? Gas is $4.10 for the cheap stuff where I am.
Ben, where the hell you at?
I just paid $100 to fill mine up the other day.
Dwayne, what you driving, a tank? Jesus.
regular gas. 20 gallons.
That 87. Yeah, gas is $3.79 here in Georgia now. I think lowest is like $3.49.
Yeah, no, it's $4.10 a gallon over here. Now where I am.
Well, you are in Florida though, Ben. So that sounds about white.
Sounds about explains these Uber prices.
Ron DeSantis. Anyway, I digress. Let me move on. I'm trying to save a little bit here for Rebecca. There's a whole lot more stories that we have to cover. We're going to be talking about the baby, getting into the baby type trouble. Megan Thee Stallion recounting getting shot by Tony Lanez, was it?
Tory. Yeah.
Tory Lanez. We're going to talk about that along with a couple other stories. One more quick political story before we transition. Apple, along with all these other stores that are unionizing, Starbucks are unionizing, Amazon's unionizing, Apple stores are pushing now for unionization. Apple retail stores, workers employed at the Cumberland Mall in Atlanta, Georgia, shout out to them, announced yesterday that it has filed for a union election, according to Bloomberg Law. The group filed the petition with the National Labor Relations Board on Wednesday after obtaining signed union authorization cards from eligible employees, which, as The Verge notes, include salespeople, technicians, creatives, and operations specialists. So all those people at the Cumberland Mall Apple store joined up and said they want a union, and they are filing for it. And we'll see how that election goes. We'll keep our eye on that one, man. That's exciting. Definitely. Shout out to Cumberland Mall. I know that area.
Yeah, for real. Let me go ahead and go up here to Cumberland Mall and work at this Apple store. I need a new phone anyway.
All right.
Working 5 jobs already.
Yeah, I mean, hey, man. Anyway, I was going to make a joke about being Jamaican, but we don't have any Jamaican representation on the show yet. So I'm going to save that till we get Jamaican representation. That said, one other story real quick before we get ready to move on to some of the cultural stories. Emmett Till's family is looking for justice. Now, I know Rebecca is going to talk about this. She dropped the story, but we talked about it at the top of the show. I want to play this clip. Emmett Till's surviving relatives, they're seeking justice against his accuser after the murder in 1955, the kidnapping, murder, lynching of Emmett Till. Let's take a listen into this clip.
The relatives of Emmett Till are hoping to launch a new investigation and prosecution against Carolyn Bryant Donham, the woman who accused him of improper advances. Now, FBI records show Donham was named nearly 67 years ago in a warrant that accused her in Till's abduction. Even before Till's body was found, she was never arrested or even brought to trial. Now in her late 80s and most recently living in Raleigh, North Carolina, Donham has not commented publicly on calls for her prosecution. She did not seem to know she had been named in an arrest warrant in Till's abduction until decades later. Till's relatives met in March with officials, including District Attorney Dwayne Richardson, the lead prosecutor in the case, but left unsatisfied. A distant cousin of Till, Deborah Watts, says there doesn't seem to be the determination or courage to do what needs to be done. Emory University in Atlanta will remove the name.
That was a lot of years later. Yeah, man. I got a lot of feelings about that.
I really don't know, Ben. I really don't know. It's one of those things. It's like, it's just like, can you imagine what she's going, like what's going through her head right now? 80 something years old, and she's like, damn, they're trying to prosecute me at 80 something. I mean, anybody can, I hate to say it like this, but anybody can get it, man. I mean, I don't know. It's just a lot. It's really a lot. I don't know how to feel about it. Granted, I do think something should happen. I really don't know. I don't know. This is one of those like, damn, I don't know.
I'm going to leave this one to better people than me to solve. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave it to better people than me to solve. Cause you listen, okay, let's deal with it, man. Let's deal with it.
Ben.
I'm not losing my black card on the result of this. Let's go to a break. I'm not.
Yeah, bro. I don't know how to feel about that one, dude.
Bro, let's go to a break. We'll be back after this. I'm gonna take 5 and think about this before I say something on air. Let's go.
Yeah. Good job. Latif said it best in the chat. Doesn't feel like justice. I don't know. Man, I don't know. I really don't know, y'all. I don't know. We gonna see what Ben got to say when we come back. And Rebecca, because I don't know. But y'all make sure y'all stay tuned, man. Rebecca will be joining us momentarily. Y'all stay tuned. Deb, good morning to you. I'm gonna say the name wrong. Good morning to you. Other Bullspit, good morning. You know, and Other Bullspit just said something that at least suit the family. So I don't know how many of y'all watch Atlanta, but there was one episode of Atlanta where basically somebody won a case, a family won a case against another family because that white family owned slaves. So they sued that family for retribution and they won. So what started happening is that everybody in the country started finding these the generations and everybody. They started finding everybody that their ancestors owned the slaves, and they started suing them, and they started getting money for it. So eventually at the end of the episode, what happens is they pass this act where if you own slaves or if your family owns slaves, then you were paying retributions for everybody. So you were giving at least 15% of your paycheck going to the family of those people that were slaves. It's a really interesting story. Y'all gotta watch it. It's on Atlanta if y'all haven't seen it yet. Atlanta. Good morning, India Brown. Good morning to you. It's like, it was a lot. When I saw it, I was just like, Jesus, this episode is a lot. That's right, Snack Method, the guy from Hangover. And you know, Moon Michu, I agree. She for sure got the benefits for accusation a long time ago. Her age doesn't change that she took advantage of her privilege. Facts. That's true. It's just a lot, man. It's just like, whoo. Carmen Jones, yes it is.
Alive, let's hit the dance floor. Don't work too hard, my break a backbone. Return to the Mac, the king.
Truth the Dragon, good morning, Truth.
Never let go. She saw the stone, you know how that go. Fatality, my diamonds that cold. Versace trunks, I hit my backstroke. Knock on the door, she at the back row. All I really take is a little taste. Island girl, blue eyes with a little bass. Here for the thrill, I don't need a chaser. Wanna vibe at the getaway. Shimmy, shimmy, y'all.
You know, Boondocks, and I think that's what it is. It's the amount of time that it's taken. And I guess the question that I have is, why now? Why didn't we do this years ago? What was it that caused this to happen? Is it because there have been a lot of stories going on? What's led to this? Why hasn't it happened a long time ago? Those are my questions. Hollywood, good morning. And yes, we also need to see, David, which ones will actually work when we plug them up and keep the damn battery charged.
Really think I'm seeing things. Read the line in mid-between. Yellow light, I gotta speed up. Get home to a cold shower. Need that pronto. Look like a rave at the condo. Heck of a night in Toronto. She said, boy, you in Morocco. Pearl white mention in the top gold. Fill up my cup with the pot, whoa. High off life in the spot, though. Running up the visa, really talking to a real life Mona Lisa. Jesus pieces hanging off the fleecer. So much going on.
Oh, yeah. Damn, I almost forgot myself. Don't forget, y'all, this weekend, patron party. Yeah, you're right. Don't forget patron party this weekend, y'all. Patron party on Friday. I'm trying to get karaoke right, but if we can't get karaoke in, we'll just do a regular patron party that we're gonna do, man. We'll see if we come up with a theme or not. a picture party on Friday, so make sure that you go in your ass in. You don't want to miss it. I do want to do this karaoke because there will be so much fun. All right, y'all. Please welcome back to the screen, Benjamin Phoenix Dixon.
Back. I appreciate that. I had to take a pause for the cause. I think I figured out some of my position on this, James.
Okay.
I am an abolitionist in terms of prisons. I don't really believe that this country at any level has a moral standing to hold anybody in prison. But then the problem, what makes it so difficult is that this family absolutely has the right to pursue justice. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. The family Emmett Till, there's no question about whether or not they should pursue it. That's their call. That's their decision. And to be quite honest, there's no statute of limitations when it comes to murder. So I have no problem with the amount of time. I do have an issue with seeing anybody of age 80 go to prison. I doubt that would be what happens here in this case. And I think the family probably could very well agree. They simply want the mechanisms of justice to roll. You know what I mean? They want the accountability. They want it on the record. They need this process to happen. But I think justice doesn't always end with somebody in prison. Now, if this had been 40 years ago, then fine. Whatever the case may be, we haven't abolished prisons, and there's prisons for a reason. And you do something, you know what I mean? You call somebody to their life, you go to jail. But it just kind of rubbed me a little difficult because on the one side of the aisle, I'm always advocating against prisons, especially for elderly people. And then at the same time, you got to juxtapose it with this family's pursuit of justice. I would just say this: nothing is as simple, and everything requires some nuance. So that's all. Yeah, I don't know if you had time to think about it more, Gene.
My thing is, one question that I would ask, and I agree with you, Ben. My thing is why now? Why not years ago? Like whether it should have been done? Because let's think about it. If she is convicted, they do arrest her. How long is she going to survive in jail? And what kind of justice is that really? Honestly, I do get the justice part of it to say that she's been prosecuted. And yes, I do agree that she should pay it, either be it by suing her estate or getting something out of her that should have been gotten out of her a long time ago. But like I said, my main question is why now? I wish it would have happened earlier. This should have happened years ago.
That's the other part of this. So on the opposite side, you had the men who actually were guilty of killing him, who were able to get away with for years. And those individuals didn't get found guilty until they were in their 80s. So it's like you have this corrupted system where, white Americans were able to get away with murder. Full stop.
And promises manifested. I'm not talking about back then. I know we didn't have the rights then. I'm talking about now. I'm talking about it's 2022. God damn it, we've had a lot of rights that come out. It's a lot of shit that we could have did a long time ago. Why now? That's my thing. I know that we're on this big social injustice movement and everything, but why now? And I just hope that it's not one of those things where the family is trying to get something out of this from Emmett Till, like monetary or anything. I just hope it's for the right reason. That's my main thing.
Well, I'm not sure. We'll have to, and I'm sure we'll hear more from the family. That I'm sure of. I'm sure we'll hear more from the family as to why they're doing it. My only question was really like, could you see this somebody going to jail at that age? And I'm like, no, I can't. Can you see accountability for somebody at that age? Absolutely. And I think there should be more. I think there should be more accountability across the board, but not all accountability ends with jail. And can I just say that one last thing? The odds. Here's one last thing. The odds of accountability actually happening here are so long that it took this long. I think that's the thing. The odds of this family actually getting accountability were so long that it took this long. So I would say maybe the family's just getting it wherever they could get it, when they could get it, because this has been since 1955.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's how long it takes to get justice in this country. And one last thing before we move on to the next story, there are more and more stories like this that are happening currently. They're not ending. Not all of them are ending in the kind of graphic and brutal nature, but they're ending in death. and murders that are not being investigated, right? There's a case out of I don't even have to start naming cities. There are cases all across the country where Black people are being killed by white people, and there are no investigations, literally no investigations. So I think it's just a really effed up place for justice for Black people in the first place. I think that's the starting and ending position right here.
Yeah. And you know, Ben, you said it just right then. You said something else. It's just like, I really don't see an old white lady on trial.
You think they're going to do something to her?
But that says it all right there. Now at this point, it's got me thinking like prosecute her. Go ahead. Let's go.
See, this is the complicated
thing. When you say it like that, prosecute that ass.
I love it.
Old white lady, anybody can get it. Because if they gonna try to prosecute a 80-year-old Black man, go ahead, let's get her too. You know, at the end, let's get it.
That's right. See, but see, this is the temptation, James. Like you got to simultaneously be like. It is a beautiful nuance to be against and for something like, I mean, no cap. I'm not trying to make an excuse here, but listen, if you're in favor of an 80-year-old person going to jail, I got a problem with you. But if you're against somebody getting justice after this type of brutal murder of Emmett Till, America's a messed up place, and the balance of justice is not pretty. But hey, let's see what happens. That's why I said this family has every right. Family has every right.
Agreed.
Do I want to? Yeah. Do I care? I'm caring less and less. Anyway, moving on. I'm talking myself out of carry.
Every time you talk more and more about it, I'm just like, you know what?
I'm talking myself out of carry. Let me get this thing up here and pull up the next story. Actually, no, we're gonna go to the next story. This is a clip of Megan Thee Stallion, who I am a staunch supporter of. I love her work. No, she is a lyricist. Listen. She is a lyricist extraordinaire, and I swear on everything. My first attraction to Megan Thee Stallion was her lyrics. Like she's just dead as one of the illest lyricists around right now. Period. Here's a clip of her discussing the incident that happened with Tory Lanez last year, where she was shot in the foot. Let's take a listen to it.
There was an argument in the car.
It was an argument because I was ready to go and everybody else wasn't ready to go. Mm. But that's like normal friend stuff. Like we fuss about silly stuff all the time. Mm-hmm. But I never put my hands on anybody. I never raised my voice too loud. Like this was one of them times where it was like, it shouldn't have got this crazy.
It shouldn't have escalated to the way that it did.
So I get out the car and it's like everything happens so fast. Yes. And all I hear is this man screaming, he said, dance, bitch. And he started shooting. And I'm just like, oh my God. Like he shot a couple of times. Mm-hmm. And I was so scared.
So is he in the car shooting from the car, Megan?
He is standing up over the window shooting. Mm-hmm. And I didn't even want to move. I didn't want to move too quick. Like, cause I'm like, oh my God, if I take the wrong step, I don't know if he can shoot something that's like super important. I don't know if he could shoot me and kill me. Like,
were you afraid for your life at that time?
I was really scared because I had never been shot at before.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy, dude. I didn't even know that was part of it. And for you, for a man to be talking to a woman like that, like she's some just. That's why he's canceled now. F that. That's why he's canceled now. Tory that's just it's a whack move because you think that you have money. You ain't got no money compared to Megan, man. And that you wanted to shoot out the window and tell her to dance, B? Nah, bro. That's real weak. That's real weak.
You know, and a lot of people, when this first came out on Twitter, a lot of people, this is what happens when you're fans of people versus like just following the story and news. A lot of supporters of Tory Lanez just came after Megan, right? Mm-hmm. They came after her and they were like, you know, whether it was true or whether she did. And, you know, I even see people talking like on Twitter, like, did she deserve it? I'm like, is this really what we're going with in the year of our Lord 20 and 22? Yeah, I know Rebecca is going to, when she joins us, she's going to have a whole lot more to say about this. But the other part that really stands out is how much Megan actually tried to protect this boy at first. right? At first she tried to, but then he kept acting stupid. He kept getting further and further into his ignorance. Go ahead, James. You gotta say something.
That's what I was about to say. She lied to try to protect him, but then he kept going on and talking mad shit about it. And so that's when he's like, you know what? Let me go ahead and tell the truth. And I know that's in. We have a second clip that's when she talks about her lying and trying to protect him and cover him up. Damn, that I just exposed his ass.
Yeah, run it.
Everything they said to me, but I remember them asking me what's happening, what happened to you, and I didn't want them to kill any of us or shoot any of us. So I just said I stepped on glass because I didn't.
Why did you say that? Why didn't you say he shot me?
I didn't. For some reason, I was just trying to protect all of us because I didn't want them to kill us. Like, even though this person just did this to me, my first reaction still was to try to save us. Like, I didn't want to see anybody die. So I just said, I stepped on glass. So when I see people trying to use that against me, like trying to act like I'm lying, oh, she stepped on glass, she never got shot. I'm the one who said I stepped on glass. I was lying to protect all of us. And sometimes I wish I really would have never said that.
You wish you would have just told the truth.
I wish I would have told the truth, but if it saved all of us from dying, then that's just probably what it was meant to be.
See, that just goes to show what black women have to go through in order to protect black men sometimes, because that's true. A lot of people will make up lies, because just think about it. The way those police had the guns drawn on that car, they probably would have shot and killed all of them.
Facts. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. She made a real calculation in the moment, and the calculation is these cops like to pull triggers. Even if I don't care if Tory Lanez had a license. I don't care what the status of his gun was. Philando Castile's gun was legally registered, and he ended up dead. So Megan was right to fear for that and to take that into consideration. But by in that moment trying to protect herself, everyone else, and even the person who shot her, she's having to do this kind of calculus in real time, man. That's crazy. That is just, that's adding on top of the trauma. And you can see it. I think we have one more clip of her describing the rest of the situation. Let's take a listen in.
I think our parents always teach us something. And I'm curious about your mom and your dad. What do you think what is the one lesson that I'm sure there were many, but what is the one lesson they each taught you that you still hold true today, that you still follow today and remember and believe? I didn't mean to make you cry. I was just curious about the impact and effect they've had on your life.
They were my best friends. It was only the three of us all the time. Like when I went to school, I feel like it was different. It was a little different with me interacting with other kids. So like they would kind of pick with me a little bit. Like I was so tall already, and they just really let me know like you can't ever let somebody else's insecurities make you insecure. Like they let me know everything about me was okay and everything about me was great and beautiful. So that's all I ever knew. And I still hold that with me to this day. Like I don't think it's anything in the world anybody could tell me about myself to make me not like myself.
I love Megan. Yeah.
Come on, man.
Ben, how can you need to hear this song, Plan B, her latest song that just came out.
Oh, yeah? Oh, really? I'll listen to it as soon as the show is over.
I wish I could play it on the show, but yeah. When I tell you,
man.
She snaps, bro. She snaps.
And how tall is Tory Lanez? He's like 5'2", 5'3".
Y'all about the same height, probably.
Nah, no, Mr. Postman. I got him. I ain't taller than a lot of people. I'm taller than his short.
Send this punk ass back to Canada. We okay. We don't need him. Send him back to Canada. We okay.
Wasn't it like, bro, you are out partying and you are out with Megan Thee Stallion. But what she said in that clip that really jumped out to me, man, that last clip, she said what her parents told her was, don't let someone else's insecurities, I think she said, affect yours, like make you insecure. Don't let someone else's insecurities make you insecure. And I guarantee you, the whole thing with Tory Lanez was his insecurity, being like 5'0" and wanting to be with Megan Thee Stallion, who's like 5'10" without the stilettos. So right, I'm sorry that sister had to go through that, man. But send it, ship his ass back. You say he's from Canada?
Canada, and he's 5'3". Sorry, Ben.
5'3". I still got
like 5'3" and a half. So
I got. Listen, man. Listen, I'm 5. Blah 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 blah. I'm a couple more inches. I got him by some inches. By 4. Anyway, what's that American Girl song? 5'7". God is just. But yeah, I'm Kanye's hype, man. That's it. I'm Kanye's hype. I digress.
Y'all short, man. Jesus
me,
Christ.
Kanye, and Wayne, we all about the same height. Something happened in 1980 where all the babies came out 5'7" and under. Moving on. One last story before we get out of here. The baby, who actually I think, well, how tall is the baby? The baby ain't a whole lot taller than the rest of us. But I ain't gonna talk about him on the internet because he crazy.
Bruh. He on the way to get canceled too.
I ain't gonna say, man, till he wow. So what? I don't even have all the details of this next story. Dwayne, you sound like you about to jump in there before we move on.
We have an explainer, I think.
Oh, okay. We have an explainer. Here's the baby, the rapper. I'm pulling up my notes here. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, that's perfect. Go ahead.
Yeah, I gotta know. So the baby got into an incident at Walmart, and the footage is showing that the baby is the aggressor and not acting in self-defense. This is not his first rodeo. Let's take a look at the explainer as well as the footage. Here's the baby wrestling in Walmart. Let's run the explainer.
And check this out. So the baby shot and killed a man at a North Carolina Walmart in November 2018. The Charlotte-bred rapper avoided a murder charge over the death of a 19-year-old Jalen Craig and claimed he acted in self-defense. But doubt was cast on that narrative on Sunday, April 24th, when a never-before-seen video of the deadly scuffle surfaced online. The surveillance footage shows the baby throwing the first punch at Craig's friend, Henry Douglas. Craig can be seen pulling out a gun from his waistband, but appears to begin to tuck it back in before attempting to break up the fight between Douglas and the baby. The footage then cuts to a fellow shopper becoming startled and running away, presumably as the fatal gunshot was fired, as the baby reappears in frame holding a Glock. As the footage circulated online, dramatically changing the perception of the almost 4-year-old incident, the baby took to social media late Sunday to address the matter. According to the 30-year-old rapper, this is just the latest attempt to assassinate his character. "The dudes praying on me can't F with the people praying for me," he tweeted. The baby later posted a clip of Tyrese's viral crying video amid his 2017 custody battle in which he bemoans, "Man, $13,000 a month, what more do you want from me? Oh my God." No disrespect to my boy Tyrese, man, but what y'all dudes got going on, bruh? What more do you want from me? Somebody behind the scenes on my ass, ain't it? In a follow-up Instagram story, the baby continued to fight back against the footage while claiming he's been robbed of $30 million. Like, damn, bruh, dudes done took $30 million from me, lie on me once a week, want my fine-ass baby mamas to hate me, want me to lose fights I don't start. What more do you want from me?
I like the explainer, first of all. Whoever that was an explainer.
Yeah, she's pretty good. I think Rebecca's here somewhere.
Yeah, Rebecca is in the house. Azor is in the house. Welcome to the screen, the one and the only Queen Azor with the yellowing. Good morning, sis.
Right.
Hi. Good morning. How are ya? Oh, that's crazy. I got to go get my charger for the computer. But good morning, y'all. What's up?
Right. Good morning, Rebecca.
How are you?
We're doing good. We're doing good. How much time you got on that battery? Do you need to step away and grab that computer?
On the next commercial break, I should be fine.
Okay.
But, with these old MacBooks, it's crazy. It's like you could be talking and next thing you know, it's just like it's gone. And it says about 80%, 75%. It's a lie.
Because mine, Rebecca, is funny because the MacBook where my camera's plugged up to, because I had to get 2 MacBooks because this was old and was about to die. But if I leave it off the charger for, let's say, I think 30 minutes is about the max lifetime of this MacBook.
Ooh,
off the charger.
And then it'll be red, right? And struggling. And I'm thinking, wow, this is going to shut down on me. Let me hurry up and go get my charger. But then, I'll get sidetracked with things I'm supposed to be doing, like working. And then I will look at the computer, it's like an hour passes by, an hour, 20 minutes, and I'll see like text messages popping up on my MacBook. I'm like, that thing said it was going to die. It's hanging on by a thread.
It's still
but
hanging
it is
on.
rolling after an hour. But let it be. You done charged it up, right? You done charged up the MacBook. Next thing you know, it's like you got 10 minutes on your life. You got 10 minutes. I got the iPhone 13. This baby lasts forever, but it'd be at the wrong, most inconvenient times where you think, okay, it's like at 5%. I know it's gonna hold me down. You got about 1 second to scroll somewhere, and it just shuts down. Absolutely hate it. And another thing I hate about these phones is when it dies. I've learned that not every iPhone is like that, and I have the iPhone 13 Plus Pro, whatever the hell it's called, but ain't nothing different about the rest of the phones. They all the same. I'm just gonna say that too. But one thing that I've learned about this phone, when it shuts off on me, y'all, it takes 5 business days for it to turn back on after I plug it in. And I don't like that, because what if something happens to me? And I'm like, let me hurry up and before it's dead. Now I got to be like, hold on, don't stab me right now. Let me just plug it in. Give me about 10 minutes, and then then you can chase me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's ridiculous. It's dumb. Like, it's really dumb. If I am hurt or I need my phone and it's like on its last leg, just y'all iPhone users is just prepare. Die.
Rebecca gave me, she's one of those type of people that don't put her phone on the charger and wait till there's like 1% left before she put it on the charger. See, y'all kill me.
I got a short. They don't even give you the charger with the iPhone anymore.
Yeah,
so imagine,
they sure don't.
It already was short. You already had to purchase from a weird place for a 10-foot cord that is not going to work in the next month. The next 30 to 60 days. And then so with the short cord, you got to lean over. You like are utilizing it. You wait until it's like 10%, 20%. And once you are there, you unplug it and you roll over because you got a good amount. And now you fall asleep and I got to go get my cord. I just got the notification. I will be right back, and you guys can start the story, but I'll be right back.
And then camera dies too. What in the hell?
Let's go to break, James.
I'm going to get my cord. James,
play some music, James. We're going to get our life together here somewhere. Bye. We'll be back after a quick break.
What is wrong with y'all today? I'm the only one that ain't had no battery problem now. Granted, my battery indicator just popped up too on my camera.
My God.
But that's all right, though. That means I got like a couple of minutes, so when they come back, I can go get my battery. That is terrible. Y'all make sure y'all stay tuned, man. We got more coming up next year on Like It or Not. We're going to get back into Meg Thee Stallion, and also, what was the last story we were talking about? Oh, yeah, the baby. Yeah. Y'all stay tuned, man.
It may hurt for a while. Let's slow it down. I can see behind that broken smile. Nice, sweet, smooth, like cocoa.
Mara Cerise, good morning to you. Barely. Look, I got 2 MacBooks plugged up, and this camera is plugged up, but it say that the battery got a little line through it, so it's about to go dead. I already know it is. They're right, Sonny. Only in America.
You're nice, like cocoa. You're nice, like cocoa bread. Like cocoa bread. Ooh, driving date, watch a movie. Right by your side on duty. Not too much or too sweet. Ooh, passion from your truly. I know how you feel. Hope I'm not in too deep.
Hey, y'all. I received a text from my wife saying she was breaking up with me. Imagine how relieved I was when a couple of minutes later she texted, sorry, wrong number.
I know you still
What's to be good? Good morning. Yes, David, we know Ben's camera has gone out.
You're nice, like cocoa. You're nice, like cocoa bread. Like cocoa bread. You're nice.
So here's a conversation between my boss and I. Boss, do you think you can come in on Saturday? I know you enjoy your weekends, but I need you here. Me? Yeah, no problem. I'll probably be late though, as public transport on weekends is slow. Boss, what time when you get here?
Give me a baby.
Me, Monday.
Got me talking crazy. You're nice, sweet, smooth, like cocoa bread. Cocoa bread.
All right, y'all. Y'all welcome back to the screen. I think Dwayne can hear me. Welcome back to the screen. Rebecca. While being this charging up stuff and everything.
Okay, I was cute when we came back. I wasn't ready to see that, but I was cute. I did.
We kind of coordinate, Rebecca. Look, you got the yellow on. I got the yellow horse on my shirt. Come on, coordinate. Coordinate.
Yes.
Coordinate.
You know, yellow is my favorite color. So
really,
yes, I love yellow. That's why. Well, you guys can't really see my place, but my whole place setup is pretty much. Yeah. Well, sweetie, I don't know about Waffle House yellow. Like it's more like it's more like when Beyonce wore that outfit in that video.
You better say that.
Yellow dress. It's like that. It's like a gold.
Give me lemonade.
Lemonade.
Yeah, there we
yes,
go.
those vibes. That it is. It really is that in this place. But see, like my black girl in the background right here, she's yellow, and then my black girls on the wall that you guys can't see over here. They got on yellow dresses. And
but why did I try to move my head and try to look like I could see on your wall around the corner?
Right.
Oh, okay.
That's crazy.
God damn it,
that's real black of you. That's real black of you. Trying to be in people's stuff. But anyways, did you guys take it back to the baby? I don't know if we even got a chance to discuss the baby, but no. This video is basically it resurfaced from 4 years ago when he killed someone in a Walmart. Shot someone in the Walmart, and he claimed it was self-defense. So now new footage has came out that shows allegedly that the baby was the one that was actually the aggressor, instead of him claiming self-defense. And a lot of people are saying, could this be something that they, that attorneys can utilize, and bring him back on, an investigation on this, or, I don't really know how that would work. Some people are saying since it's it's law that he wouldn't be able to be tried again. Some people are saying it may be something that can happen. Here's my thing about it. I don't know what. The baby really wore this incident as like a badge of honor, right? When we first heard about it, he referenced it. When people asked him about it, he would smirk and say, you know what I'm saying? Like, you run up on me, you get whatever. Like that usually that would be his response, self-defense, and when we all thought, okay, the baby, it was warranted, because if somebody runs up on you, exactly, that's what it is. And for a minute, when people were invested in liking the baby, and I was, I guess, one of those people, because I thought he was so handsome, I thought he was coming out great. This was about 2 years ago for me. And now, to see that he has, little man syndrome, where he feels like he is just... he can't be touched. What a lot of the things that we have seen from the baby has been aggression. Somebody who's willing to hurt somebody verbally, physically, mentally. We've seen what he's capable of doing in the recent past year, past 6 months, to the mother of his child, and then we've seen what he recently did. Just most recently, there was a shooting that happened at his estate. And it was somebody who was, I guess, trespassing, but he wore that as a badge of honor as well. A lot of people are saying right now, because of the baby's ways and what he has done to people, how he's been with people. We saw not too long ago as well, in the last year, his comments at his own concert to the LGBTQIA plus community felt offended when he made a reference to AIDS and, all that kind of stuff, and people being gay. And so a lot of people were upset with that. Now people are saying somebody is gunning for him to fail, to be canceled. It's almost like every time people try to cancel him, he just keep coming back. Oh, not your camera, but every time people try to cancel him, he just keeps coming back. And in this particular instance, I wanted to know, do you? I'm gonna just talk to myself.
We here, Rebecca.
I got you,
I'm gonna respond.
Go ahead and ask your question.
We are all here.
Okay, well, let me talk to Dwayne then. I wanted to know, do you think this recent video is something that holds weight?
No.
That shows his No? You don't think so?
And the reason why is that man lost his life in that Walmart. So when this first happened, the cops, this video ain't new. It's just new to the public. So I'm sure the cops, the prosecutors, DAs, all of them, they've seen this video already. And if they felt it wasn't enough to bring charges, then they're not going to come back just now because the video became public and say, oh, now we need to charge him with murder. Like, no, this video ain't new. So.
Okay, so
I feel like this might just be something else just to pile on. Like yes, the baby has brought a lot of stuff on himself in the past year and a half, but it's just a lot more just to try to pile on. Like with the shooting you was talking about at his house. I mean, if I was in that situation, somebody trespassing at my wife and my family in here sleep, I'm gonna put a hole. I mean,
that's different.
Like so.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just new. I mean, I got it sitting right here, but it's just new things keep coming up, and people just trying to keep piling on, kick the man while he down. That's why I feel like this video came out now.
I can't stand people with guns because they always got to be like, yeah, I got it on me. It's right here. Like,
always.
You know what I'm saying?
Always.
Playing with it. It's too much. But I will say, so essentially you're saying the cops got this one wrong. And because the popos got it wrong while they were doing their due process, it's not something that they will, try again.
Who's to say they got it wrong, though? We only seen this one clip. You know what I mean? I'm sure there was way more before.
We went with we went with the initial clip, right? Years ago when we heard about the story, we went with the initial clip and what we thought to be, him being attacked physically first. And so what it looks like, what it looks like from the video that has dropped yesterday or the day before, but it looks like they were arguing verbally, and the baby, them little legs was going fast, and he seemed to be the aggressor in that moment. And somebody lost. You said something poignant. You said somebody lost their life in that Walmart, and that's what I'm thinking of. And if the baby felt like he had to run up on that man and shoot him, it could have been a verbal matter that separated. It could have been hands, on sight. But he shot that man in that Walmart, and that man lost his life. And that family didn't get, anything. So, no justice for that. The baby got off on self-defense. And now this is coming out, and it's probably opening up not only for the baby a situation, but the old wounds for the family. And they're probably thinking in this moment, this probably could be the footage that justifies something for them.
Yeah, but I hate to even bring this back around to a race thing, but it's not like a white person killed a black person in Walmart and got off because of the first clip that we saw. Like, this was two black men, so they gonna look for any reason they could to try to bring charges on that man. You know what I mean? So just because this new,
I see a good reason in that video too.
I was waiting for Ben. I looked straight at the.
So my thing is we don't even with this new video and put it with the old video, we don't have all the facts. You know what I mean? So I feel like they had the facts then. You want to play the video again? They
put the video up.
They had the facts then, and if it didn't amount to charges being brought, I don't see how just releasing this other part of the video is gonna make them circle back. You know what I mean? Because yes, we see this, but what happened before this? What happened? You know what I mean?
But here's the thing. He got his whole crew there. This other man by himself. Other man's backing away. The baby is the aggressor. Now, he gets away with this. If he gets away with this, and I'm trying to find details about the actual trial or whatever the case may be. It's getting easier and easier to kill people and get away with it in America, whether you're black or white, right? And this is, if he gets away with this, then it's just going to be easier for white folks to get away with killing black folks. Because I see a situation that the baby creates, because this man is standing here. Correct me if I'm wrong. He's backing up, and here comes the baby, and the baby walks away with a gun. I'm sorry. That's enough to say the baby had an opportunity to leave. That's not self-defense.
So let me give a bit more context as well too, because what happens is Dwayne, this is one part I think is coming out now. In the initial trial, like the whole story that I read and what I've been hearing is it was stated that the guy that was backing up, that he was initially the one that started the fight. They're pushing that rhetoric that they're the ones that started the fight. But this video shows something completely different. It shows that the baby was the one that actually initiated the whole, I guess you can say, the whole contact of everything, versus to what was said in court was that guy actually started everything. Jalen was trying to break them up, as you see at the other side of the video. Jalen was trying to break them up. He reaches for his gun, but
he was the guy who was shot.
Right, and he was the one that got shot. He actually put the gun back in his waistband, was trying to push them apart, and then that's when they're saying that's when the baby shot him. Now, I see, Dwayne, what you're saying, because at the other angle of this video, when he gets shot right here, you really don't see what happens in between that part. You don't see the gunshot or the other footage right there. So that's to me at that point, it's hard to determine what really happened or if he shot first or what happened. You know what I'm saying?
And so let me add this one too, this tidbit, because the local news in North Carolina had reported this as well. The baby initially said that he never pulled any trigger during that fight. And so, and the family was saying, like, there has been no justice. There's been nothing, like I was saying. But that video was never played in court. What we just saw was never an angle that was played in court. So
my only thing, though, is this video isn't new. Like, I'm sure when this video came out to the public, it was not the first time that the prosecution or the defense saw this video. You know what I mean? So just because it's coming out now, all of these angles from these cameras in Walmart, they saw all of that. The cops saw this, the everybody saw all of that. Everybody involved in the case saw all of that. Why it wasn't played in court, who knows? But I just don't feel like this new video is going to be, just because it's out to the public now, it's going to be like, oh, now the baby needs to go to jail for murder. Like, I don't see that happening.
I don't know if he has to go to jail for murder, but he need to get his ass out of our public discourse.
He did get probation for carrying a weapon. So, and that was the most trouble that he got for that. So, I don't know. It's just, I think this is, for me, this is an unfortunate event. Knowing that he killed someone, like I said, he came in the game acting like, I came, how they always say it now, they came from the trenches, made it out the mud. That's their favorite thing to say. And he was one of those people, and he was coming up pretty quick. And he didn't it was almost like the baby couldn't be messed with. A small package that was very powerful. And like I said, he wore these instances as a badge. Like, I killed somebody, I'm seeing in Walmart, don't run up on me. That was almost like every time he was asked about the situation, it would be like, don't run up on me. Kind of that in that way. Moving forward, we see all these other instances that's showing this man to be super aggressive. It almost reminds me, and we can tie this into, I don't know if we talked about Meg Thee Stallion yet, but it almost reminds me of Tory Lanez. Small syndrome. And so it's like, these people their power comes in, their power comes in how they disrespect people. They get a chance to just shoot people and get away with it. And it's like almost like a power up for them. I feel like the baby even gets away with some of these things because he's a celebrity and because people see him as somebody who, oh man, don't mess with him. He killed somebody. Oh, he a shooter. Or he this and that. And it's like, nah, you can't continue. You're not going to continue to get away with this. There's going to be a time where this stuff catches up to you, and now you're going to be looking crazy. And I don't think this will be the day or this will be the moment that he goes to jail or gets caught up or whatever the case may be. But I think a lot of the things, the person that he kept trying to ride on and be, I think that is all going to catch up to him. If you wanted to be that shooter, you wanted to be that killer, and you wanted to talk crazy about people, and you just walking in the streets for free, you don't know what could happen to you. Your celebrity has been protecting you at this point, but now we're getting things like like video, and you are implicating yourself with the things that you're saying at your concerts and all of this other stuff. When you are just not a good person, it comes to light on its own.
Yeah. My thing is, I just kind of wonder why they didn't show this video in court, because like reading up on it, they said that they didn't show it in court, but like Dwayne said, we sure that Walmart, the police, and the courts all saw the video. But it's like one of those things. Why did y'all not use this in court?
I guarantee you, there's some kind of motion from his attorney to have this dismissed based on some grounds.
And more information too. Let me put this out there too. This was before the baby actually blew up, like gained like real high popularity. This is when like he was more popular in North Carolina, so he didn't have that big superstar celebrity status then like he does now.
Right.
So he was just a regular Joe Schmo person. Granted that after this happened, that's when his music started blowing up, because like Rebecca said, he was wearing this shooting as a badge and rapping about it in all his songs. And I forgot what song it was that basically blew him up and made him popular like he is now.
Yeah, you know how they rap about always getting off, just like Tory Lanez in this most recent situation. Like I said, I see him and Tory Lanez in the same light right here, because these are people who fall back on their celebrity. Because before these cases started coming out and highlighting them in a negative sense, they be wearing. Tory Lanez did a video where he was cutting up a horse, like in his video, and that's people know that's in reference to Meg Thee Stallion, who just recently did an interview with Gayle King, just walking down the story and the incident that happened where she was allegedly shot in the foot by Tory Lanez. And so I don't know if are we not going to that story? Look,
we could do it in the after party. We played it earlier.
Oh, you already covered it. I just need to know. Look, because I was getting ready to just lay it down the line. Hey, y'all, we at the end of the show. They done played the Grammys music on me, and I don't know if I like that too much. But they done played the Grammys music on me, so we're gonna move to the after party. Make sure that you guys head over to the after party. I'm glad that I had a chance to kick it with you guys. It is Taco Tuesday. Go out, get you some tacos, get you a bottle of margarita, and take on this Tuesday like nobody's business. I love you, mean it, and I'll see the rest of you guys at the after party.
See you at the after party.
Just wanna be a mini me. Just wanna be a mini me. Just wanna be a mini me. Feeling me, mini me. Just wanna be a mini me.
Right, because we wanted to get. Look, that was your producer in the background saying fade the music. Okay, y'all know I gotta listen to what the white man say, right? I'm just playing. All right, y'all. Make sure that y'all stay tuned. If you're not going to the after party, man, make sure that y'all stay tuned. And we'll see y'all tomorrow. If anything, and your affirmation for today is, I keep moving forward, even if some days it's slowly. Okay? I keep moving forward, even if some days it's slowly. Y'all gonna be great, man. Love y'all, mean it. We are going to the after party. See y'all over there.
Just wanna be a mini me. Just wanna be a mini me. Just wanna be a mini me. Feeling me, mini me. Just wanna be a mini me. Just wanna be a mini me. Just wanna be a mini me. Feeling me, mini me. Just wanna be a mini me. Just wanna be a mini me. Just wanna be a mini me.
Hey man, I don't think it's Ben's camera that's messed up. I think it's just the batteries that we got using. If that makes any sense.